Hey guys, it's Jordan and Jackson, and we just wanted to make a video because a lot of people have been asking us to start a YouTube and start making videos, and we didn't know what we wanted to do for our first one. So we decided to ask y'all questions through my Instagram, which we've been doing for the past couple months, and just kind of answer them all together on here. So yeah. We're gonna start by telling y'all a little bit about us and give some background on who we are. So I'm Jordan Smith.
I'm Jackson Smith. We're both 21 years old. We just got married in March. Been married for a little over a month now. And we are both students at Virginia Tech. Jordan's graduating in May. I'll graduate next May. And yeah.
Yep, that's us. Okay, so let's dive right in.
What are some of the struggles you faced being engaged while in college?
I feel like, well, definitely planning the wedding and being in school at the same time.
Right.
And for me, graduating early because I was cramming so much in was a lot. And just like we both do a lot of activities and different things in school. So I think that was one difficulty. Also being in a different stage of life than a lot of other people around us. Like not a lot of people get married their junior year of college. And so that was really different, kind of being around a lot of people that didn't always understand what we were going through, and like we couldn't relate to a lot of people in that way, so that was difficult. Yeah, and I think I think we both had a lot of expectations for engagement that were different once we went through, and we can make a whole video on that. But I think we had a lot of things we expected engagement to be like or to not be like, and a lot of that was different, which isn't a bad thing. We were just surprised by certain parts of engagement, I guess.
Yeah, I think for me, just kind of the waiting of it all. Like, our engagement wasn't that long.
Yeah.
It was about 9 months, but I think that just was hard for me. Like, just being in school, thinking about I'm gonna get married in like a couple weeks, and I like don't want to be paying attention to any of the stuff we're learning, and I just want to go get married. So a lot of that was hard. Just waiting for that day.
The anticipation.
Yeah, anticipating just getting married and everything.
Yeah. How did you know each other was the one? We get this all the time, or I get this all the time. We have different experiences, I think, with this.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to marry you in high school when we were super young. So I thought I was crazy, though, and I'm not really great at like taking things at face value like that. Like if I know something, I like to question it and inspect it for like ever, even if I have that feeling and I'm like, oh, I know this is it. It was like the same when I picked out my wedding dress. I like couldn't accept the feeling like, oh, this is my dress. I had to, freak out about it for a while. And so I'm just like that. So I knew, but I definitely had my fair share of like evaluating it and stuff like that over the years. But yeah, I knew way back when. And I'm not really sure how I knew. I just did. I know that sounds stupid, and that's a hard answer for people that are looking to figure out, if they're dating the person that's the one. But I don't know. I feel like I really did just know.
I think I knew a little bit in high school that, she could be the one, but I don't think I really, like, for sure 100% knew, like, okay, this is a girl I'm going to marry until freshman year of college. We talked about it towards the end of the year, and, like, before that, I had just been thinking, like, okay, I think I'm going to marry this girl. Like, I think that's what's going to happen. And I was just super excited, and we talked about it, and she, like, was super excited because she had obviously been thinking about that since we started dating
for years
in high school. But
yeah, you're just a lot more pragmatic than I am, I think.
Yeah.
You like to take things slow and think about them. Like to jump right in. So yeah.
Favorite books?
Favorite books.
My favorite book is To Try Men's Souls. Great book.
That's hard. I don't know my favorite book. I should have thought about this more before this video, but I have so many favorite books because I read a lot that I could give like a whole list of my top like 50 favorite books. So maybe I'll just do that because I'm not really sure what my favorite book is. What are each of your favorite memories shared with each other?
I'd say our wedding. That was a great day.
Yeah.
I love that day.
Yeah, that was a really great day. Yeah, I wish I could relive it though as like a attendee. because it
Yeah.
went by so fast and it was such a blur.
Yeah.
And I wish I could relive it like 100 times.
I think one of the best moments in that is right after our ceremony. Our wedding planner does this with all of her weddings, I think. Set aside 5 minutes or so for us to just go sit in the bridal suite and just talk and spend some quality time right after the ceremony, and just have a little bit of peace before we jump back into the reception and all that craziness. But it's a really nice moment to just get to sit and be like, we just got married.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah, that was such a surreal moment.
Yeah.
I don't know what my favorite memory is with us. I think all the times though, because we laugh a lot and we make each other laugh a lot, and I just think all the times where we're just cracking up and where we just can't stop laughing are all my favorite memories, I think,
Yeah.
of us together.
How is college life? Do you guys have any tips for people who are graduating?
Okay. I'm assuming they mean graduating high school, and I think we both agree our biggest tip is to just realize how important it is to keep God at the center of your life through college. College is a time where a lot changes and you grow a lot and you go through a lot of different things, and having a foundation on Christ is so crucial, and it was so crucial for us these past few years, and I know it'll obviously continue to be crucial for us in our lives, but I think having that as you go into college was huge for us, and it's just really, really important. So I think that's my biggest piece of advice, because college is awesome in a lot of ways and it's really hard in a lot of ways, and it is a lot of fun. We have kind of a different experience than your traditional college, but it can be a really awesome time, but I just think it's also a time with a lot of trials, and having Jesus at the center of it is probably my biggest piece of advice for anyone going into college.
I think one of my biggest pieces of advice would be get involved in a local church
That's
that
good.
actually teaches biblical truths, and actually get involved, get in a small group, be friends with like couples that are there, and if you're
dating.
just make friends in the church. Really, I think that's a huge thing that we did, and I'm so glad we did. Just getting involved with them and having so many people pour into us has been super valuable over the years.
Yeah. Okay. Where do y'all ultimately want to settle down after military life? That's a good question.
We have no idea.
Yeah, we don't know.
No.
Yet.
Preferably somewhere in the South. Neither of us like being cold. So somewhere south of the Mason-Dixon line, at least. Probably farther south than that.
Yeah, but that's really all we know right now. We want to do a little road trip and explore some different states and stuff and see what happens. But yeah, ultimately, wherever we're meant to is fine with us. So we'll see. That's TBD.
How many kids do you want and when? This is a fun question.
Do you want me to explain it? Or
Okay. We'll start.
Yeah, so we have been kind of up in the air with kids, and there's another question on here that I'm just going to say because it ties into it. Someone else asked, will you both be open to children when it happens, meaning soon, or are you waiting till you're ready? And this has been something we've been talking about for a while, trying to figure out what's best for us and kind of where God wants us, and we sort of are just going with it, I think. I think your main concern, if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, so I've always been kind of hesitant to have to deal with being deployed and that side of the Navy when I have kids, because I didn't grow up in a military household, so that whole idea of military family life with one of the parents being deployed frequently, that's not like what I had really pictured my family to be like. So, but I think that's kind of changing. We've been talking about it, and really whatever God's will is for us, we don't want to get in the way of that. And if He thinks it's best for us to have kids while I'm still in the Navy, or whatever that looks like, we trust Him.
Yeah. So I think the answer is yes. We are open to whenever that is going to happen, and I think we're just kind of taking God's lead on that. We're not actively trying to have kids, but we're just kind of trying to stay open to what God's saying to us and where He's leading us, and if it is His will for us to have a kid sooner than we thought, or whatever. I think that we're both totally okay with that and ready to do whatever he wants us to do.
Right. And I don't know if there's necessarily a time in your life where you're going to be ready to have kids.
Yeah.
And that's the same with being married as well.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people told us, we had one couple tell us that, you know, you're ready to be married when you say I do. Like God will give you everything you need to say those words when you're at the altar saying I do to your spouse. You know, you don't really feel, oh, I'm so ready to get married, you know,
Right.
I'm gonna have a perfect marriage, I'm ready for
Right.
this, like this is gonna be a walk in the park. But the same thing goes for kids. Someone told us that, you know, they were feeling totally unprepared to be a parent, but the second they held their child in their arms, you know, that moment they felt like God has just totally prepared them for this and just given them all the love they need to just support that child.
Yeah, I think we both believe that you're never fully ready for anything, really. I mean, obviously, God gives you everything you need for a certain moment when that moment comes, and not before and not too late either. But we also, like, marriage is a lifelong thing. Parenting is years and years long, and you're not fully prepared to be a parent or be the parent you're going to be when your kid's 16 when you're first having your kid.
Right.
And we're not prepared to be the husband and wife that we're going to be when we're 50 right now, you know? So I think that it's just a journey, and I think that God will prepare us for every moment in our marriage and in parenting, whatever that looks like and whatever that comes. So I wouldn't say we're trying to wait until we're ready, because I don't think either of us really believe there's like a point where we're going to decide like, oh, now we're ready. You know, I think that'll be God's decision when he thinks that we're ready, or when he sees fit, and we're good with that.
So how many?
How many what? Oh, how many kids? Yeah, I forgot about that. We want a lot of kids.
Yeah.
It kind of ranges, I think. I'd be open to having, well, we talk about it all the time, but I think we both talk about having like 7 kids or something like that, but I'd be open to having more.
Yeah.
And I think a mix. We're both really open to adopting and having our own sort of whatever path God leads us down again is the path we're going to follow. And yeah, so we could have a bunch of kids. We can only have a few, but I think we both want a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of kids.
Big family.
Yeah. So, yeah. Next question. Oh, has marriage changed your dynamic in any way?
I wouldn't say our dynamic has changed drastically, but definitely, personally, I feel like we are more of a team now, and it's not so much as like, what do I need or what does she need? It's about more of what we need as a team. She's gonna sneeze. Bless her. Okay, so what are your plans being married with Jackson in the Corps/Navy? So, the Corps Cadets at Tech has this really cool regulation where if you're married, you can live off campus, which is great. So, the whole coronavirus thing has kind of made it easier on us in a way where after we got married, our plan was to come back to Virginia Tech, and I would still have to live in the Corps dorms, and she would live in her apartment, but now we get to live together.
So nice.
Very nice. And in the fall when we come back to Tech, we'll both just move in together at her apartment in Blacksburg. So that'll be a huge, that's just something we're looking forward to just kind of like get out on our own. So that was our last question. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. We're looking forward to making more. If you guys have suggestions for videos you'd like to see us do or topics to talk about, leave those in the comments below and just let us know what you guys would like to hear more about.
Yeah, you can also reach out to me on Instagram. I'll probably post something asking about any video suggestions and stuff like that, but feel free to like this and subscribe to our channel if you liked this, because there's definitely going to be more that we're going to post. So we're super excited, and we hope you guys like this video.